Hey, what's happening everybody out there? I'm Jakejames Lugo and welcome to the channel. So finally I get a chance to sit down with you guys and talk a little bit about Black Panther. If you guys haven't seen the movie yet, I definitely highly recommend that you guys go to the theater when you can and see Black Panther in theaters. Black Panther is the latest Marvel movie to come out. It stars Chadwick Boseman, it's got Michael B. Jordan, it's got Lupita Nyong'o, it's got a whole bunch of great actors and actresses that are really doing something special, not just for the culture overall in both cinema and also society, for people and stuff, but for a lot of people that are really passionate about comic book movies and just love great stories that are told through cinema and through film. So for me, I figured I'd take a chance to make a vlog and talk a little bit about what Black Panther means to me. A lot of people are really celebrating the release of this movie for a number of different reasons. Whether you're African American and you're kind of, celebrating the fact that you have a true African American hero that is put on display and put at the forefront of a movie that's really a big budget film that's really getting out there, or if you're just someone that loves the Marvel Cinematic Universe and you're happy to see another entry into the franchise that's leading up to Avengers Infinity War. Okay, there's a number of different reasons to love this movie. At the same time, there's also a number of reasons to be really kind of critical of this movie. But for me personally, again, if I could speak just from, personal experience, from my perspective, and offer it out there to everybody that's really, part of the bigger conversation in relation to Black Panther, what does Black Panther mean to someone like me? What does Black Panther mean to me as an individual? I feel like there's a lot going well for Black Panther. I think that while a lot of people are a little bit hyperbolic as far as, the quality of the movie and the release of it and what it means for a lot of people, you can't take that away from the people that have really been expecting or at least been hoping for a movie like this. Decades upon decades of cinema really kind of prevented something like that. And it's cool to see that happen. But what does it mean to the greater good? What does it mean to the greater, individual out there as far as, beyond just the confines of being a quote-unquote black movie, being a quote-unquote African-American hero movie, a quote-unquote Marvel Cinematic Universe movie? What does it really mean for people like me that don't really fit into the molds of any of those three things, or a combination of the three, and not just one? For me, I love a lot of the different nods and the different lessons and the different statements that Black Panther does. Ryan Coogler is the director of this film, and while he was really trying to accomplish something and really try to make a statement about a lot of the struggles that African Americans go through here in the United States or throughout the world as a whole, he was also trying to apply it to a variety of different people. Like, let's be real for a second, a lot of the different statements that were done or said in Black Panther in various parts of the movie. Okay, again, I might get into a little bit of spoilers, but again, I'm trying to make a point here. There's a lot of talk about slavery. There's a lot of talk about the struggles in urban culture and urban communities. There's a lot of talk about if you were given this great power and if you had this for so long, would you be more of an isolationist with it? Or would you actually do the effort or take the effort to really help out people out there? Which I think is a much more bigger conversation than what a lot more of people are really kind of, talking about with this film. And again, granted, that's the bigger discussion of it being, whatever type of movie it is. But there's other lessons that I feel like could have an even deeper, more visceral, more interesting conversation in relation to Black Panther. And that's the makings of a great film. That's the makings of a film that was really well thought out, that was really trying to do something more than just be an action movie or just be a superhero movie, which is a lot of, you get into talks about superhero movies really being watered down and being really diluted. And there's like an overabundance of them, which might be true to some extent. But then every once in a while you get a movie like this, you get a movie like Wonder Woman, you get a movie like the first Iron Man movie that really tries to do something a little bit different, really tries to do something special and try to really stand out amongst the crowd of other films that are maybe released around the same time frame. Now for Black Panther, again, there's other lessons and other kind of things that are talked about or at least touched on in relation to the characters, to the events of the film, the plot, and some of the other things that it does in setup for the Marvel Cinematic Universe leading into Avengers Infinity War. Again, I mentioned the stuff about slavery, I mentioned the stuff about, lessons about urban culture and the struggles, about all that type of stuff, being someone black and, what that means, living in society. I think those conversations are there and those statements are there. They're kind of much more cleverly laid out and put out there, and not in ways that are really talking down to the viewer. One of the things I could really appreciate about Black Panther in comparison to other films like, Wonder Woman and other films that try to do something similar to what Black Panther does, is that it doesn't talk down to you. It doesn't really kind of condescend you or really kind of stick it to you in the face with what it's trying to say. It really tries to be a little bit more generalized about it, a little bit much more open about it, rather than just appearing to that one specific individual. There is really that obvious kind of gear and kind of direction towards someone, again, who might be African American, but I feel like those same lessons could could be applied to just about anybody. And I think it's interesting how, when T'Challa is speaking at the United Nations towards the end of the film in the after credits, and he's talking about how we have to do better to work together, we have to do better to stand and really support each other and not just be so cut off in our own isolationist type of mentality or our own separate clans and stuff. I think that's a very powerful statement, not just about racism, but just about bringing humanity together as a whole. And anybody could be down with that. I could be down with that. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm not African American. I'm not black. I don't consider myself to be. I'm Latin. I'm Latino. And I could really kind of get down with a message like that, a good supporting message and a good supporting statement like that, because it could be applied to me. It could be applied to other people that might look like me. It could be applied to people that might feel similarly to me, who might come from similar or different backgrounds. It's a very universal concept, and I think that's really awesome. At the same time, you get some of the other characters, the supporting cast, that I think also presents something great that everybody could really be down with. Look at the Dora Milaje. The Dora Milaje, again, is the group of women fighters and warriors that really support, protect, and bodyguard T'Challa and pretty much all of the Wakandan people and the Wakandan royalty throughout the entirety of the film. And I think that the Dora Milaje are really an exemplary showcase of loyalty, of discipline, that, not just them being women and crazy warriors that could wield vibranium weapons, but even in the way that they talk and the way that they go about things and the way that they approach certain scenarios and situations. We get a scene in the movie where Lupita Nyong'o is talking to one of the Dora Milaje, which, again, I apologize, I forgot her name, but the head Dora Milaje, which is Black Panther's big body, main bodyguard, and she's telling Lupita that, like, listen, I'm loyal to that chair, I'm loyal to the throne, no matter who might sit on it, even though this guy is a complete jerk. She's talking about Killmonger, a complete jerk, and something that I don't agree with fundamentally. I still have a duty that I have to uphold. That's straight up loyalty. That's like loyalty almost to a fault, but it's such a high example of discipline and loyalty to what your cause is. And I think that's something to be admired. And I think that's something you don't get a lot of in other films, especially other superhero films. A lot of us really praise films like Avengers, Captain America, The Winter Soldier, myself included, even Iron Man. And we have examples of loyalty here and there, with James Rhodes, War Machine, Black Widow, and all these people that, again, we say that they're loyal to their cause, they work for the government, they're spies, what is dignity, what is loyalty, and all these different types of things. We don't really get like a really, super extreme example of that in any of those movies compared to Black Panther. And I think that, again, makes the movie stand out even more so than what the conversation is being held about it now. And I think that's really, really cool. Again, and what makes it much more interesting, like I keep saying, is that this concept could be applied to anybody. It's not just applied to just strong women or strong black women. It's not just applied to females or people that consider themselves feminists. This could be applied to even men. This could be applied to young kids or even old, senior citizens. This could be applied to anybody. That concept of loyalty and sticking by, your people, sticking by your friends, your colleagues, your allies, and sticking by your cause. All that different type of stuff you get personified in the Dora Milaje, and I think that's awesome, and that really is a testament to the quality of the film. Now, also, we can't talk about Black Panther without talking about Killmonger, Michael B. Jordan. The reason why a lot of people are talking about Michael B. Jordan's performance as probably the best, if not one of the best Marvel villains in the cinematic universe for Marvel, is that you could really get behind his cause. You could really get behind his mindset and understand why he's going about things the certain way that he's doing it. Now, don't get me wrong, he's still a villain. He's still going about the process in the wrong way, taking the wrong direction towards a cause that is still kind of noble when you think about it. And that's the point. It causes you to think and really see if you're really down with him or with T'Challa, with the Black Panther. And the argument for that, or at least in the confines and the kind of, the context of Black Panther, is that, listen, we have this power, so many of our people, so many of our allies and people that were down with us are spread throughout the world, and they've suffered for hundreds of years, for decades, and we kind of just stood by. So I think it's kind of unfair that we do this. We have to, give this power to the people and have them rise up and do all these different things. And again, it gets a little bit more complicated and a lot more diluted as you kind of explore his argument. But the basic core concept is there as far as really, why should we just isolate ourselves? Isn't it selfish just to do that rather than just to help out people, across the world, or just help people that are in need is really at the core of it. And I think that's a cool argument. And I think that's a really well thought out argument, and it works well with all the other ideas and concepts that Black Panther is exploring. And again, it speaks volumes to a lot of people out there, whether you're African American or otherwise minority, and I would even argue for people that might be of white Caucasian color or Caucasian descent. That could really speak volumes, that concept, even though they might not fit that particular ethnic group. And it's very, very cool to see that. At the same time, you feel sympathetic for Michael B. Jordan's character Killmonger, because you see a lot of the stuff that's happened to him and why he feels that way, and why, you know, some of the things that have happened to him and his family, and why that seems to be the case, and why he's standing against Black Panther, trying to do what he needs to do. He does some horrible things in the film, like, don't get it twisted. He is still a Marvel villain at its core. However, you understand the process of why he's gotten to that point, and you understand why he thinks like that, and you think that maybe even at some point, some people might even be behind his cause. That's just how it is, and it's very, very cool to play with those dynamics there. And don't get me wrong, again, you're going to probably still root for T'Challa at the end of the film, or by the end of the film, or throughout the film, because he is the hero. He is the person that's still the core of the movie, and like the hero that we could all get behind, and his cause is just. He's the king of Wakanda. But still, being able to go back and forth and really kind of pick, you know, good ideas and nuggets of great wisdom there from both sides of the argument. Again, much more testament to how good this movie actually is. Now, one of the things I want to end on is that, don't get me wrong, this film is not perfect. It could still be criticized, and I think that a lot of people are very hyperbolic and saying like, oh, it's the best Marvel or superhero movie of all time. It's saying all these different things. It's all this and that. But I think also it's important to understand that great films could also still be criticized. We could still criticize Citizen Kane. We could still criticize the first Superman movie or the first Batman 1989 movie. We could say the same thing about the first Avengers movie if we're talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's still problems with Black Panther that I feel like could have been better, you know, particularly with the middle of the film, some of the CG that people have harped on, and a few of the other characters that maybe didn't get their due here and there. But overall, as a total package, regardless of those small missteps or those small flaws in it and stuff, I still feel that Black Panther is a phenomenal movie that everybody should see, whether you're down with whatever people are talking about now, whatever cause, whatever emotions are being put out there on social media and, you know, in the conversations at the theater, or if you just want a fun superhero movie or a fun, interesting movie to go and enjoy over the weekend at the theater, or even if you're looking for something to kind of get something out of it. You know, some sort of wisdom or some sort of food for thought by going and seeing this film. You're going to get any one of those three things when you go see Black Panther. And I feel like everybody here watching this vlog and the people out there that have been looking at the conversation here and there, even if you're not into the Marvel Cinematic Universe and you're not into the comics, you know nothing about the comics, I feel like Black Panther will still give something to you actually watching this film. I think it's a great film. I think I had a lot of fun. I've seen it already about 2 times now. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to probably see it again a 3rd time right before Civil War comes out, or not Civil War, Avengers Infinity War comes out, and I hope that, you know, we get to see more great movies like this. To be totally honest with you guys, now that I've seen how Marvel has been handling their superhero films and how Black Panther was handled so well and what it does, I'm totally down to see what other stuff that Marvel takes on as far as like pushing the envelope with superhero films. There's been a lot of talk with not only Captain Marvel, but also the Black Widow the Black Widow film that's been talked about in a number of different places that is getting made. And I'm much more comfortable with Marvel Studios making a film like this that explores some more controversial or highly debated topics than I would be with like DC or any other studio. Because I feel like with them, they could still do something like what they've done with Black Panther, put it in a director's hands and come up with a script that is going to give something to me and actually give me something to think about, rather than just talk down to me and rather than just push something down my throat as far as like an agenda or an ideology or anything of the sort. Black Panther lets me think about this stuff and lets me come up with my own conclusions on the subject matter. And I'm really down for seeing what other films Marvel does in relation to Captain Marvel, Black Widow, or anything else that they might want to explore something like that ever again. I'm really totally cool with that. I think Marvel's on a hot streak. I can't wait for Infinity War, and I can't wait to see what comes afterwards. With that being said, though, those are just my thoughts on Black Panther. I know this one probably ran a little bit long. It's a little bit different than talking about video games and stuff. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Tell me what you guys thought about Black Panther. What does Black Panther's release mean to you, whether you're African American, whether you're Latino, whether you're white, whether you're Asian, whatever ethnicity you might be. Let me know what it means to you as far as the release of the movie. Tell me about some of your favorite parts of the movie, favorite characters, favorite themes, or stuff that maybe you didn't like that could have been better. Some like critique that you probably have about it, or anything of the sort related to the Marvel Cinematic Universe or just superhero films in general. Put it in the comment section below. Don't forget to leave a like on this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel for all my videos related to gaming, movies, comics, a whole bunch of other stuff like this vlog here, all my different vlogs on a variety of different topics that I talk about here on the channel. That being said, I will talk to all of you guys again very soon. Peace out, stay epic, everybody.